Destiny's Child fans, on June 14th, 1999, how old were you? 99. But that's when the single for Bills, Bills, Bills came out. I mean, to think 1999 in the 90s, most people forget that Destiny's Child got their record deal with Columbia Records in 1995. So Beyonce was born in 1981. Do the math. They were extremely young, and I remember that I made a policy that with any of the press and media, the ladies would never say their age. They would just say they were teenagers. You know why? Because I knew had we said their ages of 14 and 15, they would have had a tag on them that they would never be able to get rid of. And people would say, oh yeah, those little girls, Destiny's Child. So I never wanted that. Branding and brand development is critically important. That was part of it. But let's celebrate Bills, Bills, Bills in 1999, June 14th. So I'm sitting in New York in my office at the Sony building, and July 27th, 1999, you know, that's when the writing's on the wall. Bittersweet moment because all the ladies had worked so hard and there was disruption, unfortunately, during the moments and time of that release. But as in life, mistakes and failures and changes are opportunities. But that was an amazing record, The Writings on the Wall. Maybe profound, The Writings on the Wall. You remember that record? I'm sure you do. In August 23rd of 1999, and by then we were really on a roll. Destiny's Child was, you know, just getting their feet wet in the industry, and had this amazing passion and spirit, and did all of the things to be successful. Bugaboo is one of my favorite songs. I love that song. And that's when we released it in August of 1999. On September the 14th in 2000 was the release of Independent Woman. And you all went to Charlie Angel's movie. That particular single was 14 weeks on the Billboard charts as #1. 14 consecutive weeks, which is still historical. I remember slipping the demo and not telling the ladies and going to the movie house and suggesting that it becomes the theme song. I think we all would agree that some songs in movies make a tremendous impact. That was an example of it. And Destiny's Child has done this multiple times with Independent Woman, Check on It. Those songs became Survivor. All of those songs were big songs in movies. This is an amazing year. We live in 2025, and all of you who are fans of Destiny's Child, gosh, 25 years ago. Man, again, how old are you now? But I recall that so vividly, even how the song Survivor came about. Beyonce and I was rolling in the 3rd Ward of Houston, Texas, and we had made changes. I had made changes in the group, unfortunately. But the DJs on one of our urban stations, they were making fun and laughing. And then the TV show Survivor was the #1 TV show on at the time. And they were saying, man, I wonder who's gonna be the next person to get kicked off of Destiny's Child, similar to the TV show. And Beyonce and I looked at each other and we were like, wow, that's an idea, Survivor. So that's kind of how that single came about, and then the naming the album Survivor. I mean, that album, 25 years ago, amazing songs. We talked about Independent Woman and being on the the soundtrack and being #1 for 14 consecutive weeks. Also, we had Bootylicious, and we had on that album that classic remake, Emotions. So that was an exceptional album. On September 21st, 2004, Lose My Breath. Now Michelle Williams is a member of the trio. And by the way, a lot of you are thinking, man, why June, July, August, September, most of these releases? There's a rhyme and reason to that. You see, the Grammy cutoffs are typically at the end of September. So strategically, also, we wanted to make sure we made the cutoffs, because you don't want to miss it and then be in the next year. So this was all strategy to make sure and ensure that these songs came out, that we could put in the marketing efforts to help the ladies win Grammys. Well, I think Beyonce, yeah, she has the most Grammys than anybody on the planet Earth. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha. June 14th in 2005. Boy, where was I? In New York. That's when a single, Cater to You, came out. That was actually one of the first ballads that the ladies had really done. You know, the exciting thing is, I also remember we were in Monte Carlo with the World Music Awards. And again, Google this. I want you to see it. The ladies were honored with Cater to You. They were so surprised. They were on stage, and then out of nowhere, Usher came out and Babyface came out and actually sang Cater to You. It was an amazing moment. Equally or more important also, at that award show, Destiny's Child received the award as the #1 top female pop and R&B group of all times. So you can't dispute that. When you look at all the other girl groups, none of them have ever received an award like that, because it was factual and deserving. Cater to You, 2005, the single. I remember sitting in the studio when we recorded Jumpin Jumpin, when the ladies recorded Jumpin Jumpin. I decided not to mix that single, Jumpin Jumpin. To this day, I tell this story. It was so great how it was. What was the point? I believe you've heard me say, perfection is the enemy of profitability. So I made the decision not to mix that record. To this day, on the album, it's not mixed. Some say it even sounds better. But that happened on July 4th, Independence Day, 2005, Jumpin Jumpin. Let me just share with you my philosophy as a manager at the time. I didn't find myself valuable being on the set for video shoots. I thought that was a place certainly engaged in making the decisions, who the video director is going to be, who the choreographer was going to be. My former wife, Tina, was the stylist and did an exceptional job. And I used to tell even the staff of Sony and Columbia Records that would want to come to a video shoot, and all people would do is, after one of the sets, everybody, oh, great job. Well, Destiny's Child, those ladies didn't need that to do the very best. They didn't need that type of encouragement. And so I actually banned the staff of Columbia Records from coming on the set, because as myself, we could be more productive doing other things that would move the needle and making these ladies successful, rather than spending a day on a video set and just applauding. What point was that? So you didn't find me at a lot of video sets for Destiny's Child. Again, I just thought I could be more valuable doing things that move the needle. Go to Destiny'sChild.com. You're gonna see some great B-roll footage that's never been seen before to celebrate this 25th anniversary. And of course, I want to see you at the Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute. Go to destiny'schild.com and get the dates. They're out now. I believe it's Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, DC, Houston, and I'm leaving out somebody, New York. Hopefully I see you there.